What's up, guys? Today on People Now, Drake gets fans talking with his first ever post of his son amid his self-isolation in Toronto.
Producers of the Netflix series Tiger King respond to Carole Baskin's criticism. We'll tell you how they fired back.
We are all about John Krasinski and Steve Carell sharing the screen again, telling some flashback stories from The Office.
Plus, the Disney Plus movie Stargirl is getting tons of buzz. Grace Vanderwall tells us about her most memorable day on set.
And it's Meditation Monday on People Now. We're going to show you how to get the kids in on the relaxation.
Yes, that and more, all today on People Now. Let's go.
Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome to People Now. I'm Jeremy Parsons here in New York. Good to see you. Hey, Andrea.
Hey, what's up? I'm Andrea Boehlke here in Wisconsin. I don't know what you did this weekend, Jeremy, but my family and we went out into the woods to look for deer antlers because it's a hobby to look for the antlers that the deers shed. And I didn't find any. I'm a little bitter about it. My sister did find 4 antlers. So that was my weekend. What did you end up doing?
Well, there's still time. Hopefully you can get back out there maybe today, tomorrow. Kind of getting back to the roots. I like that. I got back to my roots maybe in a different way, at least to being a kid. I watched the movie Hook with my girls. They watched it for the first time. I loved going back, and it just made me remember how much I loved that movie, and it was great to see Robin Williams. So anyway, I did that, and I slept a ton. I'm feeling really, 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 really rested right now.
That's good to hear. All right, we have a lot to get to today. Starting with this, take a listen.
I wasn't hiding my kid from the world. I was hiding the world from my kid.
Drake is no longer hiding the world from his son Adonis. The emotionless rapper surprised his 64.5 million Instagram followers with pics of his toddler son, whom he shares with French artist and former adult film star Sophie Brousseau. This is the first time that Drake has ever shared photos of his son on social media. You can see him here sitting in a toy car next to a life-size teddy bear, drinking out of a cup. Adorable little kid there.
Yeah, he's a little cutie. Drake included a picture of his parents as well. Now, he has been away from his family for weeks amid the ongoing coronavirus outbreak. In the lengthy caption, Drake shares in part, "I love and miss my beautiful family and friends, and I can't wait for the joyful day when we are all able to reunite." Drake is reportedly self-isolating at his Toronto home after he was exposed to the virus earlier this month when hanging out with NBA player Kevin Durant, who has since tested positive. Since his exposure, Drake has revealed the good news that he tested negative for the virus.
Yeah, according to a New York Times database, as of Monday morning, over 141,000 people have been diagnosed with coronavirus in the United States. More than 2,400 have died. And we, of course, will continue to keep you updated as information about the coronavirus outbreak continues to change.
All right, now listen to this. Some of our favorite musicians serenaded us straight from their living rooms on Sunday night as they hunkered down at home amid the coronavirus outbreak. Billie Eilish, Backstreet Boys, Alicia Keys, and a number of others entertained fans in order to raise money for Feeding America and First Responders Children's Foundation.
Yeah, listen to this. It was an hour-long broadcast, but less than 15 minutes in, the artist had raised $1 million. That's thanks to a $500,000 donation from Procter & Gamble with a match from Fox, which aired the virtual concert. The show took place in lieu of the iHeart Radio Music Awards, which have been postponed, of course, due to the outbreak.
Elton John hosted the show and introduced each act. Really cool to see him do this. He told the audience viewing at home, quote, "We're glad you're with us. We know that your concerns are a mile high. We hope that this bit of entertainment can feed and fuel your soul and maybe some strength to prepare for the days to come." Jeremy, I got to watch this with my family, and when I saw Tim McGraw in his backyard by the pool, it really was heartwarming. And I mean, he's my favorite country music artist and possibly my favorite artist of all time. So it was really cool to watch with the family, and music can really bring people together.
It really does. And you know what? Seeing people from country music and hip hop and all the different sort of pop genres that exist in their sort of pared down environments, it felt very personal. It felt heartfelt. And it really was something that I think brought people together. So good work on everyone's part. All right, switching gears to some sad news amid the coronavirus. Superstore actor Nico Santos revealed over the weekend that his stepfather has died after losing his battle with COVID-19. He posted this photo of his stepfather and mother with the heartbreaking news. His mother is still fighting the infection herself, but has not required hospitalization at this time.
In the caption, Santos describes his stepfather as a kind, caring man, going on to add, quote, "friendly to a fault. He always greeted strangers walking past him with a chipper good morning and a big smile. He had a great laugh that filled the room with joy." Santos also says the fact that his family couldn't be with his stepfather during his last days and that he can't comfort his mother or brother while they mourn has, quote, gutted him.
Santos goes on to thank everyone for their prayers, love, and support, and asks that we continue to keep them coming for his mother. It's really sad news to hear. We wish them all the best. Of course, it's difficult to get through this. We were scheduled to have a video interview with Nico this week, but of course, due to the severity of his stepfather's health, we actually had to postpone. We're really thinking of him and his family during this time, and we really hope his mother makes a quick recovery.
Sunday was a special day for Rita Wilson as she celebrated her 5-year anniversary of beating breast cancer and her continued good health after becoming a novel coronavirus survivor. Wilson just returned home to Los Angeles with her husband, Tom Hanks, after they both tested positive for the virus while in Australia. And she shared a tribute on social media to celebrate the special date, even posting several photos of herself from over the years.
Yeah, that trip down memory lane starts when Wilson was on Broadway, starring with Larry David in his play Fish in the Dark. It was around that time that she found out she had been diagnosed with breast cancer. But all good news here. March 29th marks 5 years of being cancer-free after she had a bilateral mastectomy. In the post caption, Wilson writes in part, quote, "I'm so thankful for my health, for the doctors, nurses, friends, and family who got me through that time." She also thanks her followers for their prayers and optimism. She says that they were felt deeply.
Sunday also marks the anniversary of even more milestones. On March 29th last year, Wilson was honored with a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, and she released her 4th album, Halfway to Home. Before ending her post, Wilson wrote that she was celebrating the beauty of this life, the blessings God has given, and continued good health.
All right, guys, consider this your spoiler alert. If you have not watched the wildly popular Netflix docuseries Tiger King, what are you doing with your life? You might want to tune out now because we have updates and celebrity thoughts.
Yeah, so this series has taken our social isolation by storm and has remained on the top of Netflix's content for days. The series follows Joseph Maldonado Passage, who goes by Joe Exotic, as he attempts to claw his way to the top of America's big cat community with his zoo.
He is currently serving a 22-year sentence for a murder-for-hire plot to kill his rival, who's an animal activist and big cat lover named Carole Baskin. She has slammed the series, saying their only goal was to be as salacious and sensational as possible. In the series, now she is depicted as Joe's arch nemesis. They don't really showcase her facility as a sanctuary, as she calls it. There's also a section that raises questions about the disappearance of her husband. Many fans now believe that she had some involvement in that.
Yeah, there's a lot to unpack with the whole series, but co-directors and writers Eric Goode and Rebecca Chaiklin responded to Baskin in the Los Angeles Times, saying she wasn't coerced into speaking about any of the things she discusses in the series. Goode also claims that Baskin had a lack of intellectual curiosity to really go and understand or even see these animals in the wild. Wow, that's a really shocking thing to hear. But actually, after watching the series, you do kind of wonder what Carole's whole motive in all of this is. Does she actually like the tigers and the lions in the wild, or does she just want to have fame like Joe does?
Yeah, well, Rebecca Chaiklin actually had some positive things to say about Carole Baskin's mission on Good Morning America. Take a look at this.
What Carole and Howard are doing in terms of raising awareness about the issue of big cats in captivity, they should be applauded for.
Jeremy, do you think that Carole was depicted poorly?
Well, I'm not surprised. As I was watching it, I thought her and her husband are not going to like the way they're depicted. I'm not surprised to hear that. But then again, they said what they said, and the cases that are referenced from the past, they kind of are what they are. There's a lot on public record and a lot of footage for them to pull from about how that all unfolded. So.
Yeah, I mean, she put something on her website about a lot of things that she felt were wrong or depicted inaccurately. There wasn't a huge meat grinder. It was a small one. I don't know. But obviously now it's very like he said, she said. Either way, this series has a lot of fans, even celebrities. Cardi B is the latest star to binge watch it. Looks like she's taking Joe Exotic's side. So on Saturday, she tweeted this, about to start a GoFundMe account for Joe. He shall be free. As of Monday morning, the tweet has amassed over 47,000 likes. Even though it's Cardi B, she could probably just spend some money.
Cardi showed further support for the Tiger King. In additional tweets, she wrote, "They did Joe so dirty over and over again." She also retweeted a meme claiming Baskin killed her first husband, Don Lewis, and fed him to the tigers in her Florida sanctuary. Ouch. All right, guys, we're pumped for this. Jim Halpert and Michael Scott are together again. John Krasinski and Steve Carell reunited virtually over video chat. This is, of course, amid the ongoing coronavirus pandemic. They are celebrating The Office's 15th anniversary in a segment on John Krasinski's YouTube show. It's called Some Good News. To the delight of fans everywhere, they reminisced about the early days. Watch this.
I mean, I was a waiter when I got that job. I was 23 years old. I was a waiter And after the pilot, I went back to waiting tables because I was sure nothing was going to happen with it. And we all kind of came into it with that vibe. I remember none of us had done anything huge.
It's such a happy surprise that after all these years, people are still tuning in and finding it even today. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's so great to see these two share a screen again. They also reminisce about working together on the now iconic show. Take a look at this.
People always ask this question, so I have to ask you, do you have, not one, obviously, but in your top memories, what were some of your favorite memories?
I think most of the memories have to do with things that we shared as a cast. You know, when we were doing Fun Run, and it was about 105 degrees outside.
Fettuccine Alfredo.
Part of what was so much fun about it is that everybody in the cast was rooting for everybody else. People would step back when it was time for other people to shine and celebrate it.
And then also at the same time, the most emotional I've ever been on a set, certainly. And I know we've talked about it, but I was sort of hoping that they wouldn't do your scene and my scene, the episode where you leave, last. I think you and I counted, I think it was either 17 or 19 takes where there wasn't an audible word that came out. It was just action, and then you and I going, oh!
I think we should just save the goodbyes for tomorrow at lunch.
Oh. Okay.
And then tomorrow, I can tell you what a great boss you turned out to be.
I love watching that. It takes me right back to the emotion of that moment. I mean, at the end of the show, it was truly the end of an era, and you could feel it.
Yeah, I mean, the great thing about The Office is that you can watch any episode of any season, and it's funny, and you get it, and you go right back into it. I know my sisters have been playing it nonstop, and I won't even be watching, but I'll hear it. Like, I'll hear the iconic lines, and then I'll start laughing out loud.
Yeah, it's enough for that. I'm on a group text that's going, and that group of guys that I'm talking to are just now diving back in and watching the whole thing again. Season 3, episode 1 is my favorite. You guys go watch it right now. One of the most brilliantly written episodes of TV ever. All right, Andrea, check it out. Northern Lights. You like this?
Yeah, it's beautiful, Jeremy. I'm here in San Francisco, Golden Gate Bridge. It's popping.
Casual. Yeah, just looking over there. Guys, of course, during this quarantine, and a lot of people are working from home now, video conferencing for work has become more and more of a thing. It's caused problems. Does my place look okay? Is it straight? Did the kids leave a mess in the background? Well, now a lot of people are choosing to put virtual backgrounds, and West Elm has actually come up with a few to help us out here. You can't get a better one. I'm struggling a little bit. Andrew, yours is really dialed in. I've got some problems with my background. You need a solid color in the background.
You may need to have a solid background or a little makeshift green screen, which I have. But some of these backgrounds that West Elm put out are really beautiful. So I'm going to do one here. Look at this one with the little pupperoonie.
Little pupperoonie. Here, I went for something to replace my fiddly fig, and also look out over New York. We got the bridge, the Brooklyn Bridge, the Manhattan Bridge. I mean, looking good there.
I'm
what
gonna
else you
try
got?
another one. Here we go. Look at this A-frame, a nice dream house. This is pretty cool.
Apparently close to the water too. I see some surfboards. It's a lot of fun there. Let's just go out to the pool. Let's just hang out by the pool, conference in, put on some sunglasses, have a cocktail.
So another thing that's really cool, this is not from West Elm, but you can actually upload a picture of your own. So here we go. Wow, the little trippy here.
Whoa! And here's what I just found on my desktop. This is my oldest one back when we went camping. Look how dirty she is. This is like days of camping. This is like a fun camping experience.
I think it's really cool, and shout out to West Elm. To start using West Elm's Zoom backgrounds, you'll just have to go to West Elm's official blog, download the backgrounds that you like. It's really easy. If you aren't familiar with Zoom's virtual background feature, it's also simple to use. You'll need to make sure you've created a Zoom account. Then you sign in, you change your background, and to do so, go to settings and click on the virtual background tab. And then you can do all this fun stuff just like we've been doing.
All right, everyone, stay with us. We were talking with Grace Vanderwall about her acting debut in the new Disney Plus film Stargirl. My little girls can't stop talking about it. Plus, worried about your pets and the coronavirus? Well, the CEO of the Humane Society of the United States is setting the record straight on some misinformation out there. All right, guys, so obviously there is a lot going on right now, and all these events can really translate into a lot of anxiety, a lot of stress about what we can't control. So last week, we started Meditation Mondays here on People Now.
And this week, we have another great way to bring mindfulness into your routine. It's with the Stop, Breathe, and Think app. I think this is such an amazing idea. You can check in with how you're feeling every day and try their short activities meant to help you disconnect, slow down, and find some peace.
One thing I've noticed since I've been home is our kids can really pick up on the feelings that we start to feel. If it's being scared or anxious or having some sort of anxiety about things, they can really pick up on that. But Stop, Breathe, and Think has us covered, including a weekly family mindfulness activity. It's every Thursday at 1 p.m. Eastern on Facebook Live. Then they do a repeat on their Instagram in case you missed that first one. They've even got kids' mindfulness videos that you can try at home. It's really a great way to help kids learn to deal if they're feeling worried or restless or all those things that can kind of come up at a time like this. It's kind of like an intro to meditation for the little ones.
So get the kids together and let's go under the sea with a quick look at one of those videos now.
You see an octopus changing colors from red to brown to yellow to white. Let's go even deeper. Now, breathe in the deepest breath into every part of your body. Breathe in. Breathe out and let it all go. You see creatures that glow in these calm, quiet waters. It's so relaxing and soothing to be in this still and quiet space. Your body gets more and more relaxed as you breathe. Remember, if you feel upset, like you're caught up in the wavy ups and downs, just take a few deep breaths. And with each breath, you can return to this still and quiet space.
So I think it's really adorable, but also very effective. I feel more calm now. And also, if there's an octopus involved, I'm going to listen, you know?
Oh, yeah, you're right. I mean, who among us wouldn't? It is funny, though. Like, I do get totally sucked into that, and I don't know what it says about me. That's made for kids, but I feel like that's exactly on my level. But anyway, I enjoyed that.
Yeah, it's such a great idea. All right, now we switch gears to this.
All right, guys, Grace VanderWaal makes her acting debut in the new Disney Plus movie. It's called Stargirl. It's streaming now. Now, Grace shot to fame at the age of 12. She won her season of America's Got Talent. We remember that. She plays Stargirl here. It's a character who's this free-spirited new student who captures the attention of a lonely boy played by Graham Brashear. It's based on the young adult novel of the same name, and I'll tell you this, we sort of stumbled on it. My two girls really loved it. It's this kind of coming-of-age story. It's got this sort of mystery in it as well. It's the Disney thing, and it's fun for actually the family to watch.
Yeah, I read the book when I was younger, so I'm excited to see the movie. And we caught up with Grace and Graham, where Grace revealed that someone actually sent her the book to read when she was younger because they thought she would be perfect for the role. So it turns out it was fate.
I guess so. Meanwhile, Graham told us that he believes almost everyone can relate to the film because it's about trying to fit in without losing yourself. We wanted to know more and their most memorable day on set. Watch.
Every day that we were there was some other really cool thing. Like there were some days when we were out in the middle of the desert and there was no one else there except for us. And then, and it was kind of like there was sandstorms everywhere. And then there would be like a ridiculous sunset. And there would be days where we had like the most boring scenes in the movie to shoot. But it was cool because when we were off camera, we could hang out with everyone.
I'd say one of the most memorable scenes or something to make was definitely the rain scene. I was so happy about that, and it just kind of fulfilled my childhood dream of I grew up with High School Musical, and I don't know, when Gabriella and Troy ran through the sprinklers on the summer version of it, that just stuck in my brain. I felt like I was living that out. It was a lot of fun, and it was freezing, but that made it more fun.
Yeah.
All right, and everyone, you can check out Stargirl streaming now on Disney+. Now we move on to this.
All right, today we're staying home with People's food editor, Shay Spence. We are all about getting creative in the kitchen now that we're stuck at home. Shay took it to a whole new level with his chicken tender experiment. check this out and let us know if you try it yourself.
Welcome to the first episode of Cooking with Random that I found in the pantry. I found these chicken tenders in the back of the freezer. And I figured instead of frying them like I normally would with breadcrumbs, to try 5 different alternatives to breadcrumbs. We're gonna try Honey Nut Cheerios, Wheat Thins, Trader Joe's waffle cones, sour cream and onion Pringles, Goldfish, flavor blasted, extra cheddar, what else? All right, I got a little shaky here as my guest taster. Can you say hi?
Hi.
All right. So we're starting with the Honey Nut Cheerios one. Now, I think it's got pretty dark because it's sugary cereal. So it gets a little caramelized, and I think it's gonna be kind of savory sweet. I think it'll be nice. It's good. Mm-hmm. It's got like a hint of sweetness.
Tastes like a chicken nugget with the honey sauce on it.
All right, now Wheat Thins. This one is more of a lighter coating. It got very powdery in the food processor, so it's not really as hearty, but sometimes that's nice.
It tastes like a regular chicken finger.
It tastes like a regular chicken finger. It's good, but there's nothing special to it. Sour cream and onion. Pringle. Yum!
The flavor really comes through on that one. It's really good.
It does. It has that really nice bite from the sour cream. Super salty, very delicious. Easily the best one so far. Very greasy on your hands. We love that. Goldfish.
Goldfish.
It's so cheesy, it's so delicious, and it's not quite as greasy as the potato chip one. Oh my God. That's amazing. All right, now we got the final one, the waffle cone. It's got a really nice coating. It's a nice hearty coating. Real crispy. Yum.
It's nice.
That's really good.
Tastes like chicken and waffles.
Tastes like chicken and waffles. Oh. All right, so when it comes to a winner, I have to say, all right, we forgot to try the everything. Oh, I really burnt that one. It's good. It's too much stuff.
Too much stuff.
Seriously, this is freaking delicious. You should make chicken tenders with goldfish crust, or like anything with goldfish crust. I'm all about it now. Super fun for kids, super fun for the whole family, super fun for you if you're by yourself. Anyway, hope you all had fun, and very sincerely hope you're all doing okay, because I'm really in and out. I'm gonna be real. Thanks.
This is an unprecedented opportunity.
Yeah. Okay. Can I talk about the money? Let's talk about the moolah!
Hadi's impatient. She wants to get to this.
Well, you guys better get ready. One of you in this room will receive, where's my drum roll? Where is it? We'll get $1 million!
The first 2 episodes of Amazon Prime's Making the Cut are streaming right now. It's a show that we've been hearing a lot about. We've been waiting for it ever since Heidi Klum and Tim Gunn announced that they were leaving Project Runway before it returned to Bravo. That was 2 seasons ago. Now, as you saw in that clip, one of the 12 designers competing in this weekly elimination series will receive $1 million, and they also get the opportunity to create an exclusive line available on Amazon Fashion. It's a really big deal. The winning look from each episode will also be available for purchase exclusively on Amazon Fashion in the Making the Cut store.
The first 2 episodes saw the designers flying from New York to Paris and creating 2 looks per episode. Their very first fashion show was on a runway in front of the Eiffel Tower. No big deal. And then in the second episode, they created an haute couture-inspired mini collection at the Musée des Arts Décoratifs. One interesting twist from Heidi and Tim's Project Runway days is this competition is more focused on design instead of construction. So each designer gets a seamstress who can help put their clothes together overnight. So hopefully the seamstress does a good job, or the designer can be left in the lurch like already happened in the premiere. So who are the judges? Take a look.
What do we have here?
We know immediately who that is.
Hideous, with sprouts coming out of your shoulders.
I think it's done well. I think the finishes are nice.
Nicole.
The cutting's good. I think it's cute.
I mean, it's spectacular.
But it's wearable.
Yeah.
It's too loud.
All right, the judges, Heidi, Brandon Altazura, Karine Rotfeld, Nicole Richie, and Naomi Campbell speak with a few of the designers at the end of each episode. And those conversations with the contestants can change their minds as to who's going home or not. It's a big moment for the show. Heidi also states that any number of contestants can go home each episode. Now, besides Paris, the globe-trotting series will also make stops in New York and Tokyo. So if you're cooped up at home, it's a small, nice way to maybe feel like you're virtually traveling, seeing new places. Of course, besides the fashion, it looks like some drama gets crafted as well. Take a look at what's to come.
I've had a problem with you for every assignment. I have to be very honest.
We all think of the fashion industry as being about glamour, but we also know it's about a lot of grit.
You don't realize your breaking point until you hit it.
Maybe certain people can't handle the pressure.
The studio is not big enough for all of us.
I have not seen anything that I personally want to have.
But I think it's gone to recipe of disaster.
I don't know who would want to have it.
So a lot to look forward to there. You can watch the first 2 episodes of Making the Cut now, and 2 new episodes will premiere weekly on Amazon Prime, leading up to the finale on April 24th.
We are social beings, and it is challenging to isolate the way we've all had to. Companion animals, they're called that for a reason. They are companions. They are members of our family. And there's all this science out there that they help reduce blood pressure, other things that affect us. But especially in times of crisis, this is where the bond between people and their animals really shines. And you just see it in my neighbors when I'm walking down the street with my dog 6 feet away, but they're smiling and they're with their animals. And it really is, it's lightening everybody's mood.
As we're all home in isolation, many of us have pets to keep us company and give us comfort during these uncertain times. Having more time at home has influenced many people to go to their local shelter and foster an animal in need.
Kitty Block, the CEO of the Humane Society of the United States, says everyone's support for shelter animals and staff has been remarkable. Take a look.
During this time, people have really stepped up to help animals in their shelters. And that's been where it's been the most acute and the most immediate need. The shelters tried to clear the shelters in a way that they could make room for people that had to surrender their animals because of financial difficulties or they themselves were ill. And so many people just stepped up and started fostering. My own organization, many of us did as well, and it's been amazing. Once people learned, they lined up to help. And it's been not only a benefit to the animals, but you can clearly see it's a benefit to the people who've either adopted or been fostering these animals.
And people did line up, sparking news that in New York City, there had been a shortage of dogs to foster from rescues. Kitty and the Humane Society of the United States released this statement to us, not speaking specifically to New York City, but in general, saying in part, quote, "While we are hearing from some rescues that they are out of dogs, other shelters still have many who need fosters. It varies, and this in part can be due to the amount of applications coming in that staff are having to process differently due to COVID-19 concerns, such as virtual screening, which is in some cases creating delays. It's anticipated that shelters will see an influx of pets in the coming months, and we encourage those in a position to foster to sign up to do so, particularly if they can do long-term fostering, as animals in need will continue to come in."
And Kitty wants people to know that as humans continue to fight the coronavirus, our pets cannot pass along the disease. Take a listen.
There still is some misinformation out there that people think that their pets can be carriers. They can't. There is no evidence to that. And so it's really important that people get the facts so they know how to take care of themselves and their animals. They are not carriers, they're just great companions.
Kitty also says that fostering and adopting during this time not only helps animals, but it frees up time for shelter staff to go into the community and make sure people have what they need for their animals. They are able to restock food pantries, and it helps them safely function in case they too become ill.
Many of our staff who have stepped up and really expanded their families in ways that are so meaningful, so impactful. And we've heard great stories of people who have fostered, and then of course foster fails because they end up adopting. But you just see it when you step outside your house, you're sitting on your front steps. I have some neighbors who are older and they've been shut in and pretty nervous about what's happening. I did talk to them about fostering, and they did go ahead and get a dog. And you see the change in them. They seem happier. They feel like they are part of and contributing to a community of people who care about their animals. And it's just really nice. The dogs, the cats, the other animals, they're loving this. They don't know what's going on, but they know they're getting a lot of love and affection, and that's great.
Our animals are definitely loving that we're home more. And Kitty says, if you decide to foster and help an animal in need, you most likely will never regret it.
I think sometimes people don't get an animal because they think my apartment's too small, or do I, have the time, or would it fit with my life? Once you get that animal in your home and you realize that they become part of your family.
All right, coming up tomorrow, fashion entrepreneur Rachel Zoe is sharing how she's balancing work from home and homeschooling her kids.
Plus, singer-songwriter JP Saxe is giving us updates on his upcoming Hold It Together tour, and he's revealing how he's been spending his time in self-isolation with his girlfriend, Julia Michaels. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe and healthy, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Bye, guys.